Okay, good. We're ready to start again with segment 2 of our interview. Right now, we're going to continue on with fire department questions. I know your son is on the fire department. This will be a good question for you because you've got an inside track here. What do you think about giving up our fire department to a county-run system like they do in Norfolk? Your thoughts, likes, dislikes?
That's a good question. Right now, we're a volunteer fire department.
As is Norfolk.
Yeah, but the county-wide, Woodstock is not. So my fear is we train our firefighters and Woodstock takes them, which is happening already.
Mhm.
And there is a lot of training, but it is also, the fire department is a community builder. You see what the firemen do, whether it's the parades, whether it's the wing dings or whatever. I scare we might lose our identity if we do a countywide.
Okay. In your opinion, would it give us better coverage or worse?
I'm not a professional in that question. I do know that right now there is a bunch of guys in town. I'm a little biased because my son's there. Like within seconds, he's there. I don't know. I'd have to look into that further.
Okay. Good answer. So another fire question. I've got a couple more to go with those and then we'll move on. This is something that's been asked many times. Why is the fire training center located down near the township office rather than at the township workyard? That ugly black building is kind of an eyesore. Give me some feedback on that if you would.
I'm not sure why they put it there. I think the township yard, that's where I would have put it. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now to move it would cost a lot of money because it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
If I would have had to choose, I would have done the township yard. There's no questions about it.
How often does it get used, do you know?
They're still trying to raise the last bit of money, so they
Okay.
use it somewhat, but I think they need $15,000 yet. So if anybody got some extra spare change, hey, go give it to the fire department.
Good luck with that. Spare change is hard to come by anymore.
Yeah, right now it is.
Okay, so with the pending resignation of Councillor John Schulten, do you favor, if elected, do you favor a by-election or an appointment? Now, the position you're running for, I can certainly appreciate having a by-election because at that time there was a bit more time involved in the remainder of the balance of the position. We're getting closer to the 3-year mark or even less. Does that warrant a by-election, do you think, or does it warrant an appointment?
I'm always in favor of by-election.
Okay.
And it's a little bit a catch-22 question, because if me or Lynn don't get elected, there's a chance we could get appointed.
Mhm.
So I can't really answer that question, but I'm in favor of by-election.
Okay.
Or Val, right? Val could be too.
Well, that's what I was just getting at. If this had not been an election, it stands to reason that you should have been appointed because you were the next runner-up. How do you feel about Val? If they did an appointment, would it be, in your opinion, should it be Val or should it be someone else? The council apparently has the right or ability to appoint whoever they wish.
And they have the appointment. So usually it's either, number one, it is the runner-up.
Yeah.
Number two, somebody with a lot of experience. So if
Yeah.
there's a year left and you do all the training, if somebody that's been a counselor before, could be.
Right.
To me, it's council's decision and we have to abide by it. So whatever they do, I'm okay with that.
Well, you're a counselor, or you're.
No, I'm not a counselor yet.
Well,
Hopefully.
okay, so we're going to assume that you are. That's why I asked the question. If called upon by the media or concerned citizens, do you plan on answering your telephone? And I know the answer to that will be yes, but really what I'm getting at here is, how do you feel about council not being very approachable in the past? Particularly the mayor and Mr. Schulten.
I don't want to pick on anybody in particular, but
Well, you're no fun.
I'm no fun. I'm not going to pick people. My mentor years ago was Pat Smith, and she said real simple: always take the high road. So I'm just going to do what I do.
Okay.
I'll answer the questions. You know me, Vic. I'm direct. We don't agree on everything always, but we respect each other, and that's what we should do.
And that's what a councillor should do as well. You don't have to agree with your constituents, but at the very least, I would hope you'd talk to them, and good for you for saying that. If you could accomplish just one thing during your first term in office, what would you like to accomplish? Don't answer that one quickly. You can take a second and think about that if you want.
Almost an impossible task is to heal the divide in this township. And I thought of this long and hard. How do you do that? First of all, lead by example. And then I was walking on Parliament Hill 2 days ago, and I stood by Terry Fox, which is my Canadian hero.
Mm-hmm.
And if we all, everybody in this township, think like him, what can I do to help my neighbor? Sacrifice myself for my neighbor. That's what we have to do. Then I walked a little farther and I stood on the tomb of the unknown soldier. And we should all hang our heads in shame. As Canadians, we have to help each other out, work together.
Very good. So, this is a question that kind of goes with the new store they're building. As a councillor, what are you willing to do to get business or businesses building on the empty lot across from the post office? So that might include tax breaks, fee exemptions, decreased fees. I don't know what's going on there, what the status of that place is. I know they've had a sign up looking for tenants, but it would be really nice to see that populated down there too, so that that end of the street would have, it would draw some more people.
I heard there's actually 2 tenants already. When it comes to tax breaks, the township cannot do tax breaks. That's a provincial jurisdiction.
What about fee breaks? Is that provincial?
That I'm not sure, and I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue. We
Okay.
can look into that, but as I understand, we're almost there.
Good. That would really be a feather in the cap for the town, because it's
Fill those empty lots. It just
Yeah.
looks bad.
yeah, it would be really nice to see something going on there. So I'm going back to the fire department for just a minute. This is a question that came up late. It was a citizen asked question, or suggested that I ask it.
Yeah.
I've been asked a couple of times about the tiered response in the fire department. Do you think it's necessary for a station to be dispatched to a car crash when there is no injuries or entrapment that's reported by dispatch? So, an example, let's say Burgessville had a car crash and they dispatch Norwich or Oxford Center, depending on where it happens. And they get about halfway there and find out that they're not needed, and then they have to stand down and turn around. Is that efficient use of taxpayers' dollars?
So, my son has a pager on all the time.
Yeah.
And if you look at when you call 911, they say fire, police, ambulance.
Yep.
And if people say everything, they send everything. So it's always the person that calls up that actually calls for the response. Many times, he gets called, doesn't even make it to the fire station, they get canceled. But we can never be too careful.
Okay.
If it saves one person's life or saves $10, I will save the life every time.
Okay. This is the last question. What are you prepared to do about some of the derelict buildings in the township? And by the way, this is a leftover question from the last regular election.
Yeah.
None of them are in Ward 2, however. A lot of them look like just awful.
Yeah, most of them aren't in Ward 2. I don't know if there's any actually in Ward 2.
I don't think there are.
I really think that we should strike, whether we hire somebody or to really dig down, maybe pick the worst 3 and go after it. Now, once again, it is...
They're all within a stone's throw of each other.
Yeah, they are. And some of them, it could be if you know the person, say, hey. Sometimes it's best just to go there and just talk to them, say, hey, can we clean it up? We know some of them, we don't know all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the township should everything costs money, of course, because some of them it'll be lawyers. Right? So I think we should strike a committee and clean them up.
Okay. Good answer. Okay, we're just right about our time. I'm gonna give you, say, 3 minutes to, or whatever you want,
Yeah.
up to 3 minutes to tell us why we should vote for you.
Well, at the end of the day, it's not why you should vote for me. Is how can I get your confidence? I'm a business owner, run two businesses, run a family business, which takes a lot of collaboration and cooperation. I have 40 employees. I have the time now. Even though I run a company, I run a cabinet shop. My boys are taking over, so I have the time. I understand business. I understand finance. That is my number one asset. One other thing I would like to talk about, as I ran the campaign trail last time, there was a lot of misinformation. Everybody knows me in this town that I don't Sunday shop. Okay? But I do believe in freedom of opinion. If somebody wants to Sunday shop, they can Sunday shop. I won't close down businesses on Sunday. I won't close down the arena on Sunday. If I like to go to church on Sunday and you like to go to the ball game, you have that right. So as that is a place where church and state should be separated. I love my community, and I ask you the question, what can I do to get your vote? Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, kind sir.